Hare Krishna to all the Vaishnavas. Welcome to today's evening discussion, continuation of the discussion of Srimad Bhagavatam. Today we will be discussing from Shloka 8 onwards of chapter 3, entitled Talks Between Lord Shiva and Sati, of Canto 4, entitled The Creation of the Fourth One. Before that, we will sing the bhajan by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jai Giravaradhari Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Jai Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada Gurudeva Jayam Gurudeva Srila Gurudeva. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatam Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavat Yuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki. Just give me 1 second. Shloka 8, please. Please recite with me. Satyuvacha Prajapateste Swashurasya Sampratam Niryapito Yagna Mahotsavah Kila Vayam Chatatra Bhisarama Vamate Yadyarthitami Vibudha Vrajantihi Satyuvacha Prajapateste Swashurasya Sampratam Niryapito Yagna Mahotsavah Kila Vayam Chatatra Bhisarama Vamate Yadyarthitami Vibudha Vrajantihi Satyuvacha Prajapateste Swashurasya Sampratam Niryapito Yagna Mahotsavah Kila Vayam Chatatra Bhisarama Vamate Yadyarthitami Vibudha Vrajantihi. Word meanings. Sati Uvacha. Sati said. Prajapateha of Daksha. Te your. Swashurasya of your father-in-law. Sampratam nowadays. Niryapitaha has been started. Yagnamaha Utsavaha, great sacrifice. Kila, certainly. Vayam, we. Cha, and. Tatra, there. Abhisarama, may go. Vama, oh my dear Lord Shiva. Te, your. Yadi, if. Arthita, desire. Ami, these. Vibhudha, demigods. Vrajanti, are going. He, because. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Sati said, my dear Lord Shiva, your father-in-law is now executing great sacrifices. And all the demigods, having been invited by him, are going there. If you desire, we may also go. Purport. Sati knew of the tension between her father and her husband, but still she expressed to her husband, Lord Shiva, that since such sacrifices were going on at her father's house and so many demigods were going, she also desired to go, but she could not express her willingness directly. And so she told her husband that if he desired to go, then she could also accompany him. In other words, she submitted her desire very politely to her husband. Let's go to the next shloka. Shloka 9. Tasmin bhaginyo mama bhartrabhihi swakair dhruvam gamishyanti sruhati drakshavaha aham chatasmin bhavata bhikamaye saho panitam paribram Hare Krishna paribarhamar Hare Krishna paribarhamar hitum. What meanings? Tasmin, in that sacrifice, bhagin yaha, sisters, mama, mine, bhartrabihi, with their husbands, swakaihi, their own, dhruvam, surely, gamishyanti, will go, sruhit didikshabaha, desiring to meet the relatives, aham, I, cha, and, tasmin, in that assembly, bhavata, with you, Lord Shiva, abhikamaye, I desire, saha, with, upanitam, given, paribarham, ornaments of decoration, arhitum, to accept. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. I think that all my sisters must have gone to this great sacrificial ceremony with their husbands just to see their relatives. I also desire to decorate myself with the ornaments given to me by my father and go there with you to participate in that assembly. Purport: it is a woman's nature to want to decorate herself with ornaments and nice dresses and accompany her husband to social functions, meet friends and relatives, and enjoy life in that way. This propensity is not unusual for women, is the basic principle of material enjoyment. Therefore, in Sanskrit, the word for woman is stri, which means one who expands the field of material enjoyment. In the material world, there is an attraction between woman and man. This is the arrangement of conditional life. A woman attracts a man, and in that way, the scope of material activities involving house, wealth, children, and friendship increases. And thus, instead of decreasing one's material demands, one becomes entangled in material enjoyment. Lord Shiva, however, is different. Therefore, his name is Shiva. He is not at all attracted by material enjoyment. Although his wife, Sati, was the daughter of a very great leader and was given to him by the request of Brahma, Lord Shiva was reluctant. But Sati, as a woman, the daughter of a king, wanted enjoyment. She wanted to go to her father's house, just as her other sisters might have done, and meet them and enjoy social life. Here she specifically indicated that she would decorate herself with the ornaments given by her father. She did not say that she would decorate herself with the ornaments given by her husband, because her husband was callous about all such matters. He did not know how to decorate his wife and take part in social life, because he was always in ecstasy with the thoughts of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. According to the Vedic system, a daughter is given a sufficient dowry at the time of her marriage, and therefore Sati was also given dowry by her father, and ornaments were included. It is also the custom that the husband gives some ornaments, but here it is particularly mentioned that her husband, being materially almost nothing, could not do so. Therefore, she wanted to decorate herself with the ornaments given by her father. It was fortunate for Sati that Lord Shiva did not take the ornaments from his wife and spend them on ganja. Because those who imitate Lord Shiva in smoking ganja exploit everything from household affairs. They take all of their wives' properties and spend on smoking, intoxication, and similar other activities. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shlakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yenam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Shri Chaitanya Mano Vishtum Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalan Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Shri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Jaya Pataka Swami Iti Namine Namaha Acharya Padaya Ita Kripa Pradayane Gaur Katha Damadaya Nagara Gramatarine Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi, Radhe Vrindavaneshwari, Vrishabhanasute Devi, Pranamami Hari Priye. Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Garatashwe Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langhate Girim Yatkripata Mahamande Shri Guru Dina Taranam Parmananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Vanksha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. So Hare Krishna. Continuing with the so from shlokas from yesterday's, shloka from 5 to 14, it is basically Sati is trying to convince her husband, Lord Shiva, to participate in her husband's, in her father's sacrificial arrangement. Now, it was very, very, very important to her because now she heard big demigods, great demigods attending. So now she is approaching her husband and requesting specifically that, dearest husband, now she started giving reasons so that he can say yes, and then her desire is fulfilled. So it is said that just in previous canto that we just finished in the 31st chapter, there was a shloka where Srila Prabhupada explains so nicely. And Srila Prabhupada is explaining in this 4.9 purport also. A stree, a woman, is basically means material enjoyment. Now you think men don't want to materially enjoy, they do. But the reason for them to enjoy is a woman, right? The opposite gender. It can be the other way around, but mostly it is a woman. So the moment you have a woman around, a man has a woman around, then he will then try to give her all material comforts. So then here starts the expansion of the material enjoyment. So Srila Prabhupada explains that actually a woman in her previous birth was a man, had a male body. And because he associated too much with his wife or maybe some female, and at the time of death thought about the female, about the wife or the female, here Srila Prabhupada is being very nice. He says the male thought about the wife. So this birth, we women, we acquired this woman's body. So that's why mostly when you see that a male is supposed to be the intelligent or reflect the intelligent class of humans compared to a female, because female, a woman always desires more material enjoyment, right? So she wants a family, she wants a house, wealth, family comforts, then it will extend to her relatives. You will see that in a woman, big time. A male will normally just keep quiet and sit down. So he's instigated always by a female. That is normal. Now, it is said that that is about a woman. So it is said that that's why if your male partner or a husband happens to be a devotee of Krishna, then the female is very, very lucky, because the husband will give the material comforts, but he will be detached because his aim is to serve Lord Krishna. So slowly, the woman will also, by serving her husband and family, purify herself, if the husband is spiritually situated. Now, in this case, Sati has a Vaishnava naam Yatha Shambhu. He is a Vaishnava. What a great husband, right? So she was very lucky to have him. But whatever arrangement she desired, Lord Brahma desired, whatever arrangement, she got Lord Shiva as a husband, who is a great devotee. So, but now she is serving her husband. But now here comes the desire. Now, what is wrong with this desire? It is said, Yagna ya charataha karma, 4th chapter, that why is yagna is just not an activity. It is a principle, way of life. Everyone does yagna. Now, where is yagna? Lord Krishna explained to Arjuna, the 4th chapter. Starting with Brahma Arpanam, Brahma Havir, Brahmagno. So starting from there. So there are various kinds of sacrifice. So whatever activity one does actually becomes like a sacrifice, right? So either directly or indirectly it's offered to Lord. So we can see here that despite the not created by Lord Shiva, the fight is created by Daksha. But despite that fight, right? Despite the fight created by Daksha, he has moved on to another sacrifice. Okay. Now, intention is to follow the Shastras. Intention is to please Lord Vishnu, right? Because they are Vibhudhas. 4.8, there is this Vibhudha, demigods, right? And where demigods are devotees of Lord Krishna. So because they're at elevated stage, so performing yajna is normal for pleasing the Lord. Now, but there is an ulterior motive. Because being still in the material world, Lord says there are three things that one has to get rid of in order to follow spiritual way of life. Following the Shastras. Now, maybe this is Karma Kanda, maximum to Upasana Kanda, but the Jnana Kanda is missing. So, three things are Raga, and then Bhaya and Krodha. Vita, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha. One has to free themselves from these three aspects. Raga means too much attachment to the material world. What material world? To me, I, and my extension. Now, how does one get rid of Raga? By congregation. So the attachment gets dovetailed, right? Then there is Bhaya. Vita, Raga, Bhaya, getting freedom from Bhaya. So one needs to get these three faculty, one needs to get rid of. Faculty or quality or whatever you want to call it. So Bhaya is fear of the spiritual personality, identity, right? So if such a person, what happens is that because he has fear of a personality, a spiritual identity, so he then gets attached to impersonalism. But this impersonalism is Mayavad. Okay. Now, what do you have to do here? Again, associate with the devotees. Desire to know the Lord and associate with the devotees. To get rid of now, Bhaya. The last is Krodha. So, Krodha means frustration from not having the desires fulfilled. So, once you get frustrated, anger grows, and then you start believing in voidism. Okay, that's another impersonalism. So going into voidism, that frustration, into whimsical conclusion. So Vita, Raga, Bhaya, Krodha. So in order to get rid of these three, one has to associate with the devotee. Sati is in association with the devotee. Now, one is associating with the devotee. The other thing is listening to the instructions of a devotee, which will come from Shloka 15 onwards. Right. So instruction, what Lord Shiva is giving instruction, beautiful instruction to his wife. Now, Sati being a woman, she desired to go to this great yajna. The desire is really beautiful. But what is her ulterior motive? To meet with her family members. She misses her family members. She's always, despite loving her husband a lot, she's always grown in this material comfort. She wants to have that sparsha, that feeling with her mother, with her sisters, with her relatives. And what else she wants? So yesterday, Mataji was talking about, Vishnupriya Mataji was talking about womenly qualities. Day before yesterday, Nilima Mataji was talking about womenly. She took this very nice points, 2 points. Man apaman. Right? So this man apaman, she's looking for man. Despite knowing that her husband was insulted, she's overlooking that fact or not accepting the fact. Right? So she doesn't want to accept this reality that this really did not happen, or just forget about it. This fight happens, no problems. Forgive and just move on. Now, she didn't say that to her husband, right? Who is a Vaishnav. So she will not say, please forgive my dad. No, I mean, both are her seniors. So she will not say that. So she was trying in different ways to appease her husband. Now, it is said in 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita that there are 3 levels of dualities. Shitoshna Sukha Dukkheshu, Sukha Dukkheshu and Man Apaman, 6.7. So one duality is at the physical level where you feel hot and cold. Okay. Second level of duality is at the mental level. Sukha and Dukkha. Happiness, distress. The third duality is at the subtle level. That is man apama. Where are you getting insulted or where you're getting respect? So what goddess Sati, she was struggling with was with mental aspect and the subtle aspect. So mental aspect, sukha dukkha, and subtle aspect, manapamana, right? So she is like circumventing these factors in order to come to a neutral state, both with her husband and with her family members. She's trying to do that. Now, Lord Krishna himself has given the solution. He says, how do you get over this duality? 6th chapter only. He says, be steady. How steady? How to be sturdy? So for this, you need to study the Shastras. He gives, he tells us, right? This is very nice. He says there are 4 faculties you should employ if you want to remain Krishna conscious, right? Tan tat buddhi tad atmanas. First buddhi, employ your intelligence in the study of the Shastras. Tad atmanas, employ your mind. How do you employ your mind? Mind is the master of the 10 senses, 5 jnanendriya, 5 karmendriyas. So by employing the karmendriyas in doing temple worship, Pancharatrika Vidhi, and jnanendriyas by employing them in the service of temple worship, by seeing the deities, right? And also by chanting at mind's level. Tan atmanas. And then third, tan nishtha. Then you develop the faith, the third faculty. In fourth, tat parayana. When you develop the faith, because you are now aiming for the goal that is sheltered at Lord Krishna's feet, right? So here you will see the superiority of Lord Shiva in all these faculties. Very clear, crystal clear, not confused, right? Another thing is that Sati, with association of Lord Shiva, of course, there is a purification at physical and bodily levels. She wants to participate in yajna, right? This is like a great desire. When you see very, very great people, famous people going for any important activity, we say, right, ye kaun sa conference chal raha hai idhar? Sorry. Hare Krishna. What conference is going on in this country? Like FIFA, all of us went for FIFA because we saw great people from around the world coming for this FIFA tournament, like that, for example. So because we had desire, we also want to see, we will also participate, nothing to do with Krishna. Okay, so like that, she desired to associate, social association, but in this desire, the goal was yagna. Like we say, yagnaya charatah karma. The goal, Lord Krishna is saying to please Lord Yagna, Lord Krishna. It is yagnaya charatah karma. So just like Arjuna in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, the Pandavas, Arjuna mainly, what did they do? They followed the instruction of Lord Krishna, fight. So what happened in that battlefield? The battlefield became a Yagya Kunda. And Arjuna's Gandiva became like a, what is a ladle? वो जिससे वो घी और आहुति डालते ना, वो क्या है, वो बड़ा, उस इंग्लिश में तो मैं लाडल बोलती, बट वो it is called the spoon, the yagya spoon you use. His Gandiva became that. And then whose ahuti happened? The Kauravas. And who was the Yajaman? Who it was? Lord Virata Purusha, Lord Krishna. It was offered to please him. That's why this fight happened. So just to please the Lord, all Pandavas' activities, that's why they're great devotees. Their activities was to please the Lord. They don't want anything, you know. So her desire to go, Sati's desire to go to her father's participate in the sacrificial ceremony is not something cheap. It is very, very great. But there are these sub desires which also she wants to fulfill, right? So sorry, I could only do 2 shlokas today. I was planning to go to do it till 14. So in the end, I just want to say Srila Prabhupada, he gave a very funny statement in the end. It was hilarious. It was fortunate that for Sati, that Lord Shiva did not take her ornaments and of his wife and spend them to buy ganja, to buy cocaine. That was really funny, because this is what is happening. The men, they have gone into madness just for the taste, for intoxication, for alcohol, for smoking. They will sell even their own body. I had a colleague, Rashid. He was such a chain smoker that he killed his own lungs, his esophagus, and within a matter of 4 months, he died of cancer, windpipe cancer. Killed himself only. Everyone used to say, don't smoke so much, you're going to kill yourself. And he killed himself. Then he was shocked. He says, oh God, please pray for me. Please pray. Dad knows another colleague of ours in the bank, Abdul Jalil. He killed his body with overdose of that shisha for 20 years, 25 years. You're doing shisha, you had stomach cancer. In the end, he says, can I meet your dad? Please pray for me, because he knows dad's spiritual. And the day dad landed back, I told him, and just 2 days after he passed away because of stomach cancer. So this is the nonsense which, so forget about looting their own wives and family. People are destroying their own bodies, their own gift given. God has given a gift of human body. They're destroying that. Yeah. Kali, I know. Yeah, but it's very sad, you know. All right, I'll end my class here. Grantharaj, Srimad Bhagavatam class ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanandi, Hari Go. Hare Krishna. So if anyone has any questions, you can